Hi guys, it's Ginger. I'm here today with a music review. I'm very excited about this. It's for Hollywood Vampires. Oh, it's so good, first of all. Okay, so here's my part of the story behind this. This is the album that was the brainchild of Alice Cooper, Johnny Depp, and Joe Perry of Aerosmith. I've seen Alice Cooper 3 times in the last year. Twice with, he's on tour opening up for Motley Crue. So I've seen him twice with Motley Crue. Now, the first time I saw him, which was October of last year, my friend Christy and I were like, oh my God, he's really good. Wouldn't it be awesome to see him if he ever came into town on his own? Like a month after we saw him, it was announced that he was going to be coming into town on his own. Just him, no opening act, nothing. So we went and saw him. Just his whole stage show. This was last February 14th, to be exact. And it was so good. And in his stage show, his full stage show, there is a section that he dedicates to all of his friends who have passed away, who were part of this kind of social club that he was a part of back in the 70s called Hollywood Vampires. And the segment in the show is called Hollywood Vampires. And he does covers, like a medley of covers of these different songs like My Generation, Come On Baby Light My Fire, and things like that. So we were both like, oh my God, that was so good. Probably a month after seeing them, I started hearing rumors about this album coming out. And what I like about this is you'll get a taste of what it's like to see him in concert too. Because of the fact that there are several songs on here that he uses in that medley in his Hollywood Vampires section of his live show. Now, somehow, I'm not sure how, but Johnny Depp got involved, and of course Joe Perry from Aerosmith got involved. And not only does this have them doing their versions of songs of some of these people who have passed, who were friends of Alice Cooper, who were part of this drinking social club in Hollywood called Hollywood Vampires, but they also wrote some original songs for this too. The Hollywood Vampires was a drinking social club type thing that Alice Cooper put together with a bunch of his friends. Some of the people who were involved in it were George Harrison of the Beatles, Mark Bolan of T-Rex, Mickey Dolenz of the Monkees, Jimi Hendrix, John Lennon, Bernie Taupin, Bernie Taupin is the songwriter who worked heavily through the years with Elton John, and he actually writes a grand majority of the liner notes in this, sort of telling the background story about it all. Anyway, another thing that's interesting is that the very first song, called The Last Vampire, is it's not actually a song, it's a spoken word type of thing, sort of reminiscent of the Vincent Price introduction of Thriller, Michael Jackson's Thriller. It's kind of what it reminds me of. But this was actually written by Johnny Depp, Bob Ezrin, and Sir Christopher Lee. And Sir Christopher Lee, who is known as Dracula, actually speaks it. He recites it for this, and it was one of the last things he did apparently before he died. So it kind of gives it that eerie, dark feeling, which you would expect from Alice Cooper. Anyway, there are so many people working on this. It's like an all-star deal. Let's see. Some of the people that they had working on this were Alice Cooper, Johnny Depp, Joe Perry from Aerosmith, Bob Ezrin, who is a producer and a songwriter, Perry Farrell from Jane's Addiction, Dave Grohl from Foo Fighters, Tommy Hendrickson, Brian Johnson from AC/DC, Robbie Krieger from The Doors, Sir Christopher Lee. There is a song that has Sir Paul McCartney on it. Slash is in it. Kip Winger from Winger. All kinds of people. And basically it is in remembrance of all their friends like Keith Moon and John Lennon and George Harrison and Harry Nilsson and Jim Morrison and Jimi Hendrix and John Bonham and people like that, just to name a few. Anyway, I love this record. It is awesome. Let me tell you let me see if I can describe this the best way for you. So it starts, and I'm already excited just by hearing this spoken word thing at the beginning. But this album, as it progresses, starts to give me that feeling in my heart and in my gut, like when I was 16 years old and I would hear a piece of music that I knew I was going to love. That's the sort of thing, that excitement in your stomach, that your heart flips a little bit. This is so awesome. And because there's so much of it that is covers, it is reminiscent of another time period. So the original ones are The Last Vampire, which is a spoken word, which is really good. Another one called Raise the Dead, which is Johnny Depp, Alice Cooper, Bob Ezrin, and a bunch of other people, and Alice Cooper does the vocals. Then they do My Generation, which Alice does in his live show, which is awesome. Then they do Whole Lotta Love, which you know is from Led Zeppelin. And it's actually Alice Cooper and Brian Johnson doing the vocals on that one. Then they've got one called I've Got a Line on You by Randy California. And it's Alice Cooper and Perry Farrell doing that too. Then they have 5 to 1 and Break On Through to the Other Side by The Doors. And it's really good. And that's one that he does in concert. And then they do one, Jump Into the Fire by Harry Nilsson. Come and Get It, written by Paul McCartney, sung by Paul McCartney and Alice Cooper. Jeepster, written by Mark Bolan, who was in T-Rex. Cold Turkey, that was written by John Lennon. Manic Depression, which is written by Jimi Hendrix. I think that this is supposed to be Ikaku Park. I don't know. Written by Steve Marriott and Ronnie Lane. And then they do one that is, you know, familiar to all people who know Alice Cooper. School's Out plus Another Brick in the Wall, which that's how he performs it in his show. It's generally the last song that they do, which is, you know, that's a tribute to, you know, Pink Floyd. Then the last song, which is one of my favorite songs, is called My Drunk Dead Friends. And that's one of the originals that they've written for this. Written by Johnny Depp, Bruce Wilkins, Tommy Hendrickson, Alice Cooper, and Bob Ezrin. It almost reminds me of an Irish sing-along drinking song in a way. You can hear the glasses clink, you can hear everybody singing along in the background. It's dark, but it's funny at the same time. I really like Raising the Dead. And then of course, Alice Alice Cooper does a great job on all of these covers that he does. He's really a great vocalist. A lot of people probably don't know that, but he really is a great vocalist. And he makes these songs his own. I really liked Jeepster, which is the Mark Bolan song. Cold Turkey was good. Manic Depression was good. I mean, everything on this album. You know, we live in a day and age now where albums are basically 3 or 4 songs, if you're lucky, that are produced to be singles, and then the rest of the album is filler. You know, long time ago, well, not that long ago, 15, 20 years ago, people wrote albums, and even longer ago, people wrote albums that were supposed to be listened to from beginning to end. They don't really make albums like that anymore. This is one of those albums that you can listen to from beginning to end. There's no throwaway songs. There's no filler in here. I mean, and I know most of them are cover songs, but the stuff that's new, the stuff that's original, that was written for this album is outstanding. And Alice Cooper always surrounds himself with really great musicians, because like I said, I've seen him 3 times and he has some really great musicians on tour with him. And the funny thing is that I knew that Johnny Depp was a musician, you know, but you kind of chalk that up to, you know, whatever. Because what's the old saying? Every actor dreams of being a musician, every musician dreams of being an actor type of thing. So, you know, but at the same time, Alice always surrounds himself with top-notch performers, top-notch musicians. And I actually watched the performance that they did, that the Hollywood Vampires did with Alice. It was Alice, Johnny, Joe Perry, Duff McKagan, Matt Sorum, Lizzie Hale came out and did a song, and somebody else came out and did a song. It was the performance that they did several months ago during Rock in Rio, and you get to see Johnny Depp playing some solos, and he's really good. He holds his own. He's a really good musician. And from the stuff that he helped write on here, he's a really good songwriter too. So, you know, he's a good musician. Clearly, that's why Alice Cooper wanted to work with him. So, check this out. This is, and it's been out since September. It came out September 11th, so I'm a little late to the game. But check it out. It's really, really good. Like straightforward rock and roll songs. A lot of songs that you know, that you love, that Alice is doing his own spin on, but still remaining true to the original feel of them, but still making them his own. So check it out. Hollywood Vampires debut album. Check it out. We got 14 songs on here. Give it a thumbs up for sure. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoy these reviews. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, so that you can come back and sit for a spell. And next week, I'm going to have a review of the new Def Leppard album. Yay! It's been quite a long time since they've put out a new album, so I'm looking forward to it. I haven't listened to it yet. I just got it in the mail on the 30th when it came out. I received it in the mail, so I'm looking forward to listening to it. So don't forget to come back and keep your eyes peeled for that. If you subscribe, you'll see it in your feed. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.